actually know what I have in my bag for the next time that I play.
That would be a sick sound.
Great start. Great start. High, I throw these discs. Yeah. These are discs that I throw. What's up? I'm Reegan, 2025 in the bag, halfway through the season. Start with putters. Putting putters, I putt with Adams. They're the only thing that is shallow enough for my hands and small enough. I literally picked just the shallowest putter. Hand feel is everything for me on putters. They glide a little bit more. They're not really overstable, so they don't have as much bite at the end as some putters, so they're a little bit more glidey.
What kind of putting are you? Like, do you push putters, spin putters?
I feel like I'm a bit of both. Little bit, probably more push than spin. That's cool. So that's why we're doing an in the bag video. All right, throwing putters. Berg, love this Berg, custom die. Yeah, I don't know. This comes in and out of the bag depending on kind of what I want it to do. It'll either be this or a range. Next, a Luna. Kind of have to throw a Luna. Love the Luna. Just extremely, no matter what angle I put it on, it's great, and I can manipulate it how I want. Clash this Popcorn. This is basically my understable Luna. I can put it on a little bit of hyzer and it'll flip up the flat and it'll never fade back out. It'll always either push straight or drift a little bit right. Next we got the Stock Space Vessel. It's a zone. I just like the top, the thumb track. It's a zone, it does zone things. I throw a breaker, a DGA breaker. I'm looking for a not clear one, so anyone that has a not clear one, I want it.
Bang my line.
Exactly, DGA breaker. But yeah, I like that this is really shallow. It's almost like a zone. To me, it's my zone SS. I can throw it little flick forehands or just super straight backhands that right at the end will have that bite. But this is never gonna flip and turn. So no matter what angle I kind of put it on with hyzer, it's just gonna hold that, but it won't get super beefy like a zone and change that angle and get more overstable. I guess approach disc is adjust this. This is kind of get out of jail free. It's super overstable. Any forehands. Don't really throw it much on backhand, but that's because if I'm throwing it, I'm typically in the woods. Mid-ranges, I only bag 3. I honestly...
Mid-ranges on that side?
Yeah, the left.
I put my drivers there.
See, I always grab my discs like this. I'm never like on the front, so it's always like, how, I don't know. I don't know. Tell me if I'm doing it wrong.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, which way do you guys put your discs in?
Yeah.
I go drivers to mid-ranges, and then they're like this. I only bag 3 mids. I got overstable, best overstable mid in the game. Birdie Disc Golf Supply Ultra. Can put it on 4 hands, hold straight for a while, get stable, never burns over. Great disc. MD1. C-Line MD1, just a tiny bit of dome on it. These things are money. Super duper flat. You can put it on hyzer, it'll flip up and drift right. Just depending on how hard I throw it, but basically any angle, it'll hold it. Hex, I really like this Proton run of Hex. I have like 5. This thing's a little beat in, so I mean it's a little flippier than a typical Hex, but I've kind of just adjusted to it. Fairways, I bagged like 5, I think. Halo Sphinx, super flip up, drift, but it has just enough stability where it fights back at the end. And so it doesn't ever burn and roll. It's just flipping, 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 flipping. Right at the end, it'll come right back. Firebird, you have to have a Firebird. Super, super beefy. Chuck it out there, get stable. Firebird. Another Firebird. This one's a run from Broderick. It's really, really flat. And this one, I can get to hyzer flip and drift a little right. But then, since it's a Firebird, it still has that bite at the end. Always comes back. All right, new disc. Kind of to the bag, still kind of testing it out. This is going to be a cigar, and regardless, it's going to be a cigar in the slot. I just don't know which cigar that I really like. Yeah, Z-Swirl collab one. Like this one. Next, I have just a Z-Line Cigar. This one I've beat in quite a bit. Got this Z-Line Cigar. This thing is way more flippy than the other cigar. It'll flip up and turn all the way to the right and then kind of finish a little bit more towards the center. I just started bagging this. Shout out Brandon. Gave me this first run Cicada. This thing is super torque resistant for a Cicada. Not sure why. So I can almost forehand this thing on like some flex and it'll just hold that flex the entire time and then come back. But I really like this for hyzer flips hyzer flip to drift right, or like get out of trouble shots where I have to throw with a lot of hyzer on my backhand. Moving up in stability, or I guess speed, we've got Wraiths and Onyxes. I've got Garrett Girthy Wraith. These are kind of the only Wraiths that I like to throw because they're more stable than the other ones. Most of the other Wraiths I either use for like really big turnovers, or they just don't have enough stability and beat in super fast and become unusable. These Wraiths, 12-time Climo, just regular star race. This is my hyzer flip to drift all the way right, or punch it flat and it's gonna head right and never come back. Or since I don't have as fast of a forehand, kind of my hyzer flip to drift forehand. Those are the race. I right now bag 2 Onyxes. I have 1 fresh ESP Onyx and then 1 really beat up ESP Onyx. ESP Onyx I can get to flip and to kind of drift right, but then still have that stability of an Onyx and fight the wind and hook back left quicker. This one's brand new. It flies like a brand new Onyx. Distance drivers, typically I switch this up depending on course. It's all either an Emperor or a Destroyer, or I guess a PD2. But the PD2 comes in and out of the bag. So I have a Gravity Bomb PD2. Chop over forehands, fighting the wind backhands. If it's super duper windy, you know, punch it flat, let it get a little drift and fight back. Super overstable utility distance driver. Next I have Halo C Destroyer. This thing is money, pretty domey. So it has a lot of glide on it, but it's still super overstable, so extremely predictable. I can punch it straight, get it out to about 400, and then it kind of dumps out to the left. Very good disc, love that disc. This is the best disc that disc golf has ever produced. This is a Luster C-Blend Emperor. I will buy any and all that you have available. I have too many already, but if I ever lose this thing, I'm going to cry. But yeah, this thing is, I can hyzer flip it to turn, I can punch it really hard flat and get a massive drift. This is probably my furthest, and it's super glidey, but this is probably my furthest flying controllable distance driver. These two will come in and out of the bag depending on course, and then I have a bunch that are just in varying stability depending on how many trees I hit. If I hit one too many trees, this thing's got to get out of the bag. It's an I-Blend Emperor, super beat up. It's throw it on stupid hyzer, flip all the way over and drift. If I have a massive tailwind or I'm trying to get something to just head right, it's this. After that, we've got just a stock S-Blend Emperor. This one I'm not sold on yet, kind of trying it, seeing if I want to beat it in some more, but at the moment it's just kind of like my Luster. It has a little bit more dome than the Luster, but I feel like it doesn't have as much glide. Can punch it really flat, stays really straight for a long time, and doesn't fade super hard, so that I kind of like it for that or some smaller tunnel shots. But yeah, that is the In The Bag. I have no Uncrustables in the bag right now. Shout out Uncrustables, sponsor me please. But typically there's 2 at any given moment. If I was playing a 3-disc round and I had to pick 3 discs, popcorn. Throwing putter that you can manipulate any way that you want to manipulate it. Hyzer to flat, flat to drift. Can work this however you want. Can power down and keep it on hyzer. Can power up and get it to move. I can throw this particular popcorn out to about 350. Firebird. You have to have a Firebird, or a slot that's a Firebird. Something that is always going to go same direction for you, that you can put flat or a little Annie, and it's gonna fight wind, and it's gonna basically go far. I'm stupid. Sagara. Gotta have a straight 7-speed. I feel like it is my most thrown disc in the bag. I bagged Eagles before this, like Heimberg Eagles, and then I went T-Bird 3s and now Sagaras. But I mean, you have to have one of these that you can get to basically go straight, finish straight. I mean, if I throw this on a little bit of Annie, you know, it's gonna fight right the entire time. So yeah, I mean, it's basically just a big boy version of this, big popcorn. So if I was going to play a 3-disc round, wherever I put my Firebird, Sagara, popcorn. Those are the 3 discs I think every disc golfer needs. Not those in particular, but those slots. Squatch bag. Coke and a Gatorade. Always gotta have a Coke, you know. I don't know. I'm a Coke guy. Vanilla Coke. Gatorade. This isn't my typical bag. I have 2 Squatch bags. I like the Legend more, but if I'm just playing a casual round like we were going to today, you know, I got a small bag. Shout out Neatman's Creek. I got a little Neatman's Creek mini whenever I was there doing some filming. Awesome mini. Love that place. Go check it out in North Carolina. Really awesome course. Probably my favorite course that I've ever been to, ever. Neatman's Creek.